But it's good to see a few other New Zealanders coming out and almost leading the way, the likes of Colin Munro and Glenn Phillips, who are at the top of the tree in this tournament.
Yeah, and that's a really good thing as well. I think probably if you look at the IPL, it's probably only a handful of New Zealanders who have really had the opportunities over the last sort of decade. And I think what we've seen with the development and emergence of these other tournaments is that guys like Colin Munros and the Glenn Phillips, they get their opportunities to be starting players and get consistent game time. When they get consistent game time, they show how valuable qualities they can be, and in tough conditions as well. The pitches in the Caribbean are as extreme as what they are anywhere else in the world, and for them to have come over here and dominated like they have, especially Colin Munro, who's not just done it for 1 year, but he's done it for 3 years running now, is really impressive, and I think it's fantastic. It can only help New Zealand cricket in general when you get these guys experiencing different conditions and excelling at it.
Now I've got to take you back, since I briefly mentioned KKR. You're almost looked at as a pioneer. I know you like to be very modest about it, but at the time when the first IPL happened, no one really knew what to expect. And even when you got out there, we remember Zahir Khan bowling to you, you were naught of 7 balls. Is it going to be a batsman's game, a bowler's game? And then suddenly, that innings that changed T20 cricket forever. Your memories of that evening?
Yeah, look, you're right. I was naught off 7, and I didn't know where I was going to try and find a run from. I was trying to get a leg by to get down the other end, or try and end the misery. But I guess it was one of those times that it didn't just, may have changed the game, I'm not sure, but from my point of view, it changed my life. What it did was opened up a world of possibilities, and 11 years on, the development of T20 cricket, the development of franchise-based cricket in these competitions around the world, I've been able to be lucky enough to be a part of those right throughout, and it all happened because of that one night in Bangalore. And I thank those who firstly selected me in it, obviously those who put the tournament on, and to be given the opportunity to be able to do something so special on such a pivotal night. It was almost like the stars aligned, and I don't know how it happened, and I never sort of have tried to understand why or how it happened, but I'm just very grateful that it did.
You didn't prepare for it in any special kind of way, because the world wasn't really sure what to expect.
No, well, that's right. None of us were sure sort of how much it was going to captivate, how much T20 cricket was going to captivate the world of cricket and the fans around the world. So I think that night kind of certainly helped. It's not just that. Since then we've seen some incredible performances from the likes of Chris Gayle and Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. All these guys that have played throughout the tournament have just lit up stadiums all around the world, and I guess that was kind of the start of it. But yes. It's amazing really to see the development of it and to be a part of it, and feel very grateful for it.
Let me fast forward a little bit to you being captain of New Zealand, because as the world saw, New Zealand played a clean and yet aggressive brand of cricket. As captain, how did you manage to balance the two going forward?
Look, to be honest, it kind of happened organically. I think from our point of view, we knew that some things had to change. Under Stephen Fleming, I thought we were a team that was very successful. We punched above our weight, probably even going back further than that with the Richard Hadley, Sir Richard Hadleys and Martin Crows of the world. We had world-class players, and at times we had some fantastic performances. Stephen Fleming, tremendous leader, probably led that team without much resource and got some pretty favourable results along the way. And then we kind of just lost our way a little bit, and I think we started to try and be a different team. We tried to base ourselves on Australia and other teams around the world, and it just didn't really sit comfortably with us, and we sort of lost our way. And it's lucky enough that we managed to get that back, and we just wanted to be a representation of our country and what the values are of us as people, and be hardworking and humble and try and be inventive and play the game in the right spirit and just buy into it together. And look, in the end we kind of went on a journey where we got to a style of cricket which entertained people around the world, and people felt that the New Zealand team was almost their second team that they wanted to follow outside of their own country.
One of your highs would have been captaining at the 2015 World Cup. You wrote an emotional letter to your countrymen at some stage during the tournament. What made you write that? Because there was so much passion going into that.
Yeah, obviously, you work with your commercial teams and that as well, and you've got responsibilities and obligations when you are captain of your country, that you've got to try and engage the public to follow you. And we are a representation of our people. We're not. It wasn't my team, it wasn't the coach's team, but it was the New Zealand cricket team, and so it was just a matter of trying to engage with them. We knew that we were going to need their support if we were going to take on the big boys in a high pressure environment that was going to be a World Cup. And this country responded amazingly. The crowds that we had, the way that cricket was was held in people's hearts and minds throughout that 6-week campaign was something I'll never forget. It was amazing to be a part of, to be a central figure in it as well, and try and join, try and I guess realise some of the ambitions of our country, but also of our cricketers. Was fantastic, but we didn't win the World Cup, but in the end it almost didn't matter. Like, what we did was we inspired a generation of cricketers to follow because of how we went about our work, and I think that's more important sometimes than the silverware or not.
Was it a little similar in a sense to 1992 because it was playing at home, a team galvanised, winning at home, and then almost there but not quite there, and yet New Zealand remembered as the team of the tournament even in 92?
Yeah, and I think that's probably what gave us the blueprint a little bit as well, and we looked at how they went about their campaign in 92 and just the complete fan engagement that they had, and the way that they immersed themselves in the typical everyday Kiwi person's lives, and that's what we tried to do. We tried to make sure we bought into what the country was experiencing at the time. We got out and about. We didn't train a lot, to be honest, because all the hard work had been done. We picked a team which we knew would be fighting for each other. We knew that some guys, even if they weren't going to be playing a lot, we knew that they were going to be able to embrace the culture and make sure that they supported those that were around them. We got out and about. We played a lot of golf. We went to a lot of events. Through the airport, we really encouraged our guys to just enjoy being a part of what was a whirlwind 6 weeks, and I think that certainly helped us and gave us that real confidence, and 92 was the blueprint for that.